This is kvci.blogspot.com or Boston G.B.R on YouTube. I just received a call from citizens in Valdosta who relayed me to the citizens in Brooks County concerning Governor Deal's executive order, wherein he determined that Dr. Nancy Whitfield Dennett, Elizabeth Diane Thomas, and Linda Faye Trotman would be removed from the Brooks County Board of Education by executive order, and he, the governor, appointed a review commission to determine whether the indictments of Brooks County, if they would impact the affairs of the school board. And according with Georgia law or what have you, it was determined. In fact, it said, let me read what it says. Whereas by the report dated December 30, 2011, that commission unanimously recommended that Brooks County Board of Education members, which was Dr. Nancy Whitfield Dennett, Elizabeth Diane Thomas, and Linda Faye Trotman, be suspended from office under the provisions of Georgia law and directives. In addition to that, it now says that now, therefore, pursuant to the authority vested in me as governor of the state of Georgia, it is hereby ordered by Nathan Deal that Dr. Nancy Whitfield Dennett, Elizabeth Diane Thomas, and Linda Faye Trotman are hereby suspended from office immediately and without further action pending the final disposition of the cases or until the expiration of their term of office, whichever occurs first, as provided by OCGA 45-5-6-C, this 10th day of January 2012, signed Nathan Deal. I informed the people in my community that talked to me and questioned me, even the ones in Brooks County, that as they traveled to the governor's office, I did not think that the finding would be any different from what we see here. As a concerned citizen and a native of Brooks County, this is exactly what I would expect from South Georgia. We must realize that regardless of what happens by this decision, I would like to know rather, who made up this select committee to review and investigate. We also know that in Brooks County that there was alleged intimidation, but yet of the voters, and alleged disenfranchisement even of the voters, and yet there's nothing been reported, nothing been investigated to my knowledge concerning that incident that took place. I walked the streets over there and I know firsthand knowledge about the alleged questions that were asked, even the senior citizens. Some was too afraid to go back to the polls to vote. Now, laying all that aside, be that as it may, we have to see what happens in the courts. But we must understand that we respect the office of governor and Sonny Perdue, our previous governor, and we also respect Mr. Nathan Deal as well. But I commend him for being swift and taking action in this particular case concerning alleged voter fraud. I only wish that the Honorable Governor Nathan Deal would address the 30 jail deaths that we've had in the Valdosta and Lowndes County Jail. I just got a call a couple of days ago and met with an individual who says that the deaths are still being reported in the jail, but nothing has been done. The Justice Department has been notified about the deaths in the Lowndes County Jail since 1989, or right on up through the present date. Letters has been sent, but yet our governors, many governors, have failed to address the issues of the alleged abuses of people in medical. We have names of people up there. Last week I have it on video, but yet our governor has not addressed the issues of the alleged abuses and the alleged unfair living conditions and treatment in the Valdosta and Lowndes County Jail. From 1988 to 89, there was a court order filed in federal court, and Judge Hugh Lawson ruled in 1997 and found 105 violations in the jail, which dealt with people sleeping on fourth floor, racial segregation, no air conditioning, the diets, many complaints was rendered. No reading materials, no jail library, no real complaint system. All these things were brought up to even locally, state, and federal governments, and yet nothing has been done. I wish that the same attention could be given to the people that called me, along with the president of the SCLC, Reverend Rose, and the president of the NAACP, Lee Touchton, about what's going on in that facility. We have firsthand experience. We have documentation. There has been a video called The Chorus of Fear that was done. There, following the death of inmate Willie James Williams, 2,500 people marched on the Valdosta Lowndes County Jail in search of justice, and until this date, many people in our community do not feel that justice has been served. And so I look forward to our governor in the state of Georgia, and the Justice Department, and the Secretary of State, and the Georgia Attorney General, and the local news media and television and radio. All these entities would come together and investigate the living conditions of many active duty and retired military veterans and disabled veterans who must go to the Lowndes County Jail and live under the conditions that a Judge Hugh Lawson found guilty of violating the constitutional rights of inmates. I wish that somebody would step up to the plate and act as vigorously and in a timely manner as they have done in this case here. We know that many people across the nation, the news media, 2020, 48 hours, everybody seems to know. It has been reported in North Georgia and Atlanta newspapers and on television that Valdosta and Lowndes County is leading the state in jail deaths, and yet nothing to my knowledge has been done to address the issues. Nothing is being published about it. And once again, these are people, inmates, some who have served in all the great wars of our beloved nation, and yet little to nothing is being done. We have stood locally before city council meetings, and we want to bring attention to the living conditions in our local jail in the same manner that voting rights and people that are concerned about voting in our community should also be concerned about the people in our jails and prisons in the state of Georgia. We must understand that much work has been done. As you will see on the next upcoming videos, I'm going to let you look at pictures. I'm going to talk to you about a white nurse, registered nurse, and what she went through. I want you to see more documentation about Judge Hugh Lawson, court order and consent decree. With 105 violations, we wrote to District Attorney David Miller. We wrote to the Justice Department. We wrote to the clerk of the court, Sarah Crow, and we asked, and we kept asking, who ensured that Judge Hugh Lawson's order was ever complied with, and we received no response. We even wrote Judge Hugh Lawson himself here in the Middle District of Georgia, Valdosta Division, and we asked him who followed up to ensure that all those things that he found were corrected, and we received no reply from him. And so now we must ask, why are American citizens required to live in conditions that you will see in the next video, in upcoming videos? And there are one individual that we interviewed, and we have him on tape, we got him on video, who talked about some real live problems in that jail. But it's amazing how the leaders in the state of Georgia, and local and state, as well as federal, we wonder how the news media across this nation, 60 Minutes, 48 Hours, Dateline, and the rest of them, it concerns me as a retired military veteran who put their life on the line for over 20 years, and yet it seems like there's a great disparity in the way justice is rendered upon certain people. And all the mothers and fathers who sent me letters and called me and called others in our community about the ill conditions in our jail facility, but very few people seem to care. And so the next few clips, we want to thank Governor Nathan Deal for all the good work that he's done. But I want you to know, Mr. Governor, that the Quitman 10 case just may be the pivotal point that will draw much needed attention to Brooks County, Georgia, home of the Mary Turner lynchings, called the Week of Terror, James Demps, Earl Evans, a policeman that was burned up, the Wootons, and many situations. It just may bring attention to Brooks County, Georgia, that needs to have shined a light many decades ago. So there's a great possibility that the Quitman 10 may be what God has so ordained. We know that there were, the Quitman 10 has received recognition from the NAACP with Edward DuBose, although it was ignored from the news media for the most part. Quitman, Georgia, Brooks County has set up an NAACP branch there as a result of what the Quitman 10 went through, but nothing was reported in the news. It's all been hidden. The Quitman 10 also got support from G.B.R out of Atlanta, yet little to nothing has been published in South Georgia newspapers and television stations. Also, several trips have been made to Savannah to talk about voter right, voter suppression. The late Senator Robert Brown did an outstanding presentation at Walker Street Auditorium, 100 to 200 people from Brooks County and surrounding community all converged on June 18th there in Quitman, and nothing was reported to the news media. Therefore, there was a total blackout, whiteout, shutout, lock me down or keep out, but nothing was reported. And so we, the people of America, and we, the people of Brooks County, we, the people of surrounding counties, must ask, why is that? Why is it that the news cannot be dispersed right and equally when it comes down to certain segments of our community? We must know that the civil rights legend Tyrone Brooks, Representative David Lucas, and others, Helen Butler, all converged on Quitman as a show of support and unity for the Quitman 10 and voter rights in Brooks County, but nothing for the most part was published across the state of Georgia. No CNN, no CBS, no NBC. It's like as if those South Georgia is in a world by itself. And so the next few videos you see will highlight what is actually happening in South Georgia, and it seems like nothing is changing. We must get concerned. If we can go over in foreign countries and fight for people that we do not know, then we sure as hell should fight like for our own relatives, our own neighbors, and even our enemies right here in South Georgia to ensure that this republic remains strong along the lines of freedom, justice, and equality, and freedom of the press and freedom of speech is respected, and that jail inmates will have a voice as well as the victims of crime. We want a fair Georgia. We want a equal Georgia. We want a Georgia wherein we don't just come together and imitate, duplicate, and placate, and really just do things that are unbecoming of showing respect to the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. did not just come hey, the next clip. Listen to the next clip. Bye-bye, we're gone.